I always wonder how to start a video off, because on Facebook it's very different how you upload to one on Instagram or to YouTube, which I've been putting them each week now, because YouTube just seems to have no problems uploading stuff and it's easy to share that link. However, on Instagram you can put up a picture before the video, so you're not sort of where Facebook captures the video and your face could be like that. And that's the start of the video, which is not a good sale. I did it last week when I did a short minute reel to describe and tell you what happens at the main deal. And I had to delete it from Facebook because it's just, wasn't a good look. Anyway, hi, welcome, happy Wednesday vlog. I hope you're all right. Lots to go through this week. I've had some brilliant conversations, which I'm going to start off with this week. Lots of meetings in between other things. But talking to Caroline, our local ambassador for Leeds 2023, who it will incorporate the ward, I hate the word ward, incorporate the area of Garforth, Swillington and Great Preston. And there will be an event in July at Great Preston run by the lovely Caroline, who's having lots of conversations with everybody about the culture of where we live. So, one of the things that will happen, and for you, if you haven't already been contacted by Caroline or myself or one of your other local artists, don't leave it to the last minute. But she is after talking to some of our local artists, creators, sculptors, to come a part of the event at the end of July, and you can get funding to be part of this, which closes next Monday, and we put it on the blog on Friday and we have put it on Facebook. But if you go to last Friday's blog, themaindeal.co.uk, blog at the top on the right hand side, it will give you the details and the link for you to apply for that funding that you will get as part of Leeds 2023. Do not leave it till Monday morning, Sunday night at your latest. But I know what artists are like, they leave, everything's fine and everything's it'll be fine, we'll leave it till, don't. Get it in, get the funding in now, because that means that will help you be able to create something and be part of that culture loveliness on at Leeds 2023 at the end of July with Caroline and their team. Also, as part of that, Caroline is wanting people who've got a bit of a story, and we sort of helped come up with some ideas in the week where if she maybe spoke to some of our local care homes, some of the residents there will probably have some amazing stories about Garforth and the history of Garforth alone. But if you have a parent or a grandparent or a next door neighbour who you know would have or does have an amazing story that one you might have heard several times before, please get in touch. I will put Caroline's details at the bottom. It's an email for Leeds 2023 with Caroline. And you can send your stories possibly to her, but do contact her first. Again, I'll put the details at the bottom. Because if you think that somebody you know could stand and tell a story at the event, brilliant. But if you think that you could write down a story, record a story and send that in for people to listen to or read, brilliant. And we're also, East Garforth Primary Academy, our year threes are doing a bit of local history and knowledge. And I've tried to get in touch with a couple of people that I know, because unfortunately the local historical society disbanded last year, I want to say it was, sadly. And it was because the lot of local historians were of an age and weren't able to get the information across about the historical society out on the interweb, as they would call it. So it disbanded, and I think, you know, it lost its interest. And I think now, if there was something like that collated and put together, we'd have actually quite a lot of people involved in it. But if you want them people, you can email me, christine@themaindeal.co.uk, and I can get you that information. But I will put Caroline's information up there if you think a story is worth listening to, reading or being heard about the history of Garforth, or the story that they were involved in from the Second World War. That there is actually a website which I've sent over to East Garforth Primary, Helen Armitage, who's organising that with her year threes, a bit about some soldiers from World War II that were from Garforth. But we just need them little stories. Have you had a really interesting job in the area that nobody else would love to hear about it, because no one's thought, wow, I never knew that went on, or were you involved in that? I didn't even know that was a thing. So just think, if you one of them people How one of them brilliant stories. A bit like, it's a concept that Caroline was telling me about, which is basically like a human library, where you would go to the library normally pick up books. You want a human library, a person that can tell a story, and lots of them that you can pick and go, right, he's got a brilliant story from World War II, he's got a brilliant story from the pits in Garforth, she's got a brilliant story about her job, that what she's done in Garforth from the time that she was born all the way up and now she's 95. Them stories. So it's like having a bit of a human library, which is a fabulous concept. Also, going forward, Caroline was also talking with me. We have a really good chat, and we're both quite passionate people about things that we do. And she's got loads of great ideas about stuff that perhaps going forward. And one thing she did touch on, I just thought it's such a good idea, because as I've mentioned before, I follow West Yorkshire Police, Yap App, all the motorway Twitter feeds, all the Leeds City Council information, and they are generally, if anything is related to our area that might cause a problem, I will share that information. And don't worry, I'm not a, hey, somebody just had a car crash, there's registration, there's that leg on the hard shoulder, I'll share that picture. That ain't gonna happen. The bit of information that I share is just stay away, or this has happened. Like there's a lad gone missing in Kippax this morning. I don't normally share stuff like that, but he's a local lad, and I've shared information that might be relatable, that somebody might be able to help a situation. It's been on our Facebook this morning. But one thing, when I look at all them places that I look for relative information, it's all sad. It's all dead miserable. It's all like that. If it's really been a bad week of people stabbing each other, and I don't mean in our area necessarily, but there's just that. I mean, last week I think I read on one of the socials that it was like, in a week, it's like 4 people are being stabbed, and the cars are turned over and cause crashes, and people have been really hurt, and it's just, it can get quite depressing to know that in Leeds, not that far away, or places in town not that far away, these things are literally on the doorstep, and it's horrible. So what she was saying is, we don't have anything that tells people the good news necessarily. I mean, we are, as the main deal, all about sharing the good, the fun, the nice things, the good people, the great businesses, the lovely things that go on, the good planning. We're all about that. But she was talking about sort of the good news, things that we just might not know what happens. And she touched on Cielo opening every Christmas day for half a day for people who may be alone. So things like that you might not be aware of that she touched on, I think it would be a really good thing going forward. Also, to get you involved in things. Did you know, and do you know, there's so many groups, and I have touched on it in the past, there are so many groups in Garforth that you could join should you be at home feeling a bit, not left out, but just thinking I need to do something for me. And a lot of people won't do anything if they don't see it to benefit. And it's a fact. If you're a volunteer, for example, volunteers these days are so hard to come by. And we have about 9 to 15 groups of volunteer projects that go on in Garforth. And we have such trouble trying to find volunteers sometimes to fill that. We have like a bunch of people that tend to be the same people, but getting other volunteers is really, really difficult. And we need some for the Leeds 23 event, as well as the likes of Garforth and Bloom, Garforth Lions, Incredible Edibles, Feastival. You know, the benefit of you being a volunteer is you may get out where you don't normally. It may give you a couple of hours a week or an hour a week, whatever time you can get. The benefits of being outside, for example, we say Garforth and Bloom, or being involved in champion an event that happens with Garforth Lions, or being part of a committee that might make that community grow in a way it's not just yet, in more of a smart way, more of a techie way, having your ability to help see something really grow. Because we have changed such as a community where 20 years ago, everybody knew then, or 30 years ago, everyone knew who their neighbours were. Now, they might just take a parcel in for you. And we've lost that community because we've evolved and things are different. Where when I grew up, my mum was at home and then she went to work at night when my dad was in. Now everyone just works, whether it's at home or away, or they're just doing something differently, or their lives are very different. And they have to be home with their children. It's a different, it's so different. So being part of a community, you can benefit that, whether you volunteer or you join a group. The benefits to you are huge. Interaction, perhaps being outside, being part of a group, being part of something, being actually valuable. Good for your mind, good for your physicality, it's good for your social skills. All those are benefits. And then the volunteering or being part of a group is the bit after. So to see things differently, we've got like Garforth WI, Garforth Town Women's Guild, the U3A group, which is run from the Working Men's Club, the choir, Garforth Choir wins on a Wednesday, Garforth Art Group, even adults for Garforth Tigers, Garforth Parish Cricket Club, and golf clubs, golf club or golf range. There's so much to be part of, and you've got to see what the benefit is to you before you decide to join. So I'm just gonna leave that there. And also, I'm gonna get lost now. It's been a tough week. I've had a visit to A&E, a couple of doctors who have been brilliant. Their mind is just okay today. We're all right. We're on a level keel. But I can't complain at A&E. Nobody wants to go to A&E at all. However, I can't complain. The wait is long, 6 hours. But you know what? That's generally not for being seen. That's generally waiting for test results like bloods or x-rays or anything like that. And the young doctor that looked after me while I was in A&E was absolutely brilliant. Don't worry, I was a walk-in patient and walked out. Just some investigations. And he was so good. He'd been on shift a very, very long time, and he spoke to me and saw me as if I was his first patient of the day. So LGI, brilliant staff, and sometimes the care that you get outweighs the wait. So thank you for that. One thing that you need to listen to, and I've told quite a few people about this, for your physical and mental mind, is the N vitamin. The N vitamin is the no. No, what do I do with it? I always feel guilty about saying no to things, but actually, how does it affect me if I say yes? Don't feel guilty for saying no. You can't say yes to everything, and it becomes very, very difficult. And I've learned over the years in my 30s, just saying yes, I can do everything is physically and mentally not possible, and then you don't become good at anything. So sometimes just take the N vitamin. No, it's good for me to take that. Interesting facts I'll leave you because we've been nattering on. 19,811 people live in Garforth. Did you know that? Wow. Did you know that Leeds gave the world Cluedo? It was a Birmingham lad that took his idea to Waddington Games in Leeds. They saw its potential, and it unfortunately took about 5 years for it to be released because of World War II. M&S was born right here in Leeds Market. There was a bazaar opened, and then 10 years later, Michael Marks met his little pal Tom Spencer, and they opened up in 1894 as Marks and Spencer on Boar Lane, and then moved to Briggate, where they still are now. And as they say, the rest is history. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, and good luck to the cocktail pickers coming soon, which is just off Parkinson Approach right at the end. They will be opening their doors soon. It's looking great, and hats off to them because it's hard work and you're in business. Take care of you.